It's time for Health Futures with Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth. This is Arizona's only show dedicated to providing you with expert advice on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. To learn more, call 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Bob Roth.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you, and I'm your host, Bob Roth, and it must be Friday, and indeed it is. It is Friday, October 5th, and we're coming at you live from the Scottsdale Air Park, Money Radio Studios, 1510 AM, 105.3 FM, and the World Wide Web, moneyradio1510.com. And if this is the first time you've tuned into our show is about how our older adult population can live a healthier, happier life. And how do we do this? We bring extraordinary guests here to the show, and I am going to just cut right to it. I have one of these extraordinary guests that really has been one of the people that have been behind the scenes at Duet Partners in Health and Aging. I've got Shelly Everson here in the studio. She is a public relations coordinator for this incredible not-for-profit cause that I have the privilege of serving on their board of directors. Shelly, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you. And, you know, I've met you before, but you truly are the person behind the scenes. You know, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, the man, or should I say, man behind the curtain.
I've never actually seen that movie.
You've never seen that movie?
No, I've been told I'm missing out, but the flying monkeys scare me.
They do. Mm-hmm. I would tell you they are scary, and it just really goes to show my age, and I've got a millennial here and has not seen the movie, but you got to see the movie. It's a good movie.
I'll come back and review it for you.
Please do. And you know, I've asked Shelly to be here on the show because we have an extraordinary event coming up. And it's called the Family Caregiver Symposium. Mm-hmm. So I want to just throw it over to you.
Okay.
We'll get into Duet because they've been around before, but I want to just say, what's the Family Caregiver Symposium?
Okay, so the Family Caregiver Symposium is Thursday, October 18th. It's at First Christian Church in Phoenix. And it's basically this morning to early afternoon event for family caregivers. And so family caregiver is defined as anyone who provides unpaid care for a loved one. So it can be a grown adult son or daughter who's caring for mom or dad. It could be a spouse who's caring for their husband or wife. And basically, this symposium brings together experts to talk about how to find hope on that caregiving journey. We will have Pierre Theriault. He works with Banner Alzheimer Institute. We'll have Dr. Pauline Boss. She's a leader in ambiguous loss and an author and a speaker. She's absolutely amazing. We'll also have Rain Tomola from the Arizona Department of Health Services. And then our moderator is going to be Kathy Ritchie from KJAZ News. And the whole event's just going to be great speakers talking about how to find hope, and caregivers will have a time to connect with one another. And it's just a really good, refreshing event.
So I want to just say I have the privilege of knowing all four. Two of the four have been guests here on the show. Dr. Pierre Theriault has been a guest here multiple times from the Banner Alzheimer's Institute. He literally is a rock star.
Awesome. And did I say that last name right? It's Theriault?
It's Theriault.
Okay, awesome.
You did great.
Perfect.
And Dr. Theriault, he's just got an incredible bedside manner. And when I say that, when he's dealing with these families that are getting the diagnosis maybe for the first time that their loved one has Alzheimer's, he is amazing with these families and just navigating through the myriad of options that are available to these individuals and their families. I had him here on the show. I had the privilege of serving on the board of directors for the Banner Alzheimer's Institute for 10 years.
Nice.
And these guys are amazing. And I wanted to really talk about Dr. Pauline Boss. I've had a chance to meet her twice. I've not had her on the show, and I'd like to have her here on. She is a rock star as well, and she is a family therapist, a pioneer theorist on ambiguous loss, and the author of Loving Someone Who Has Dementia. And she has taken a personal event that has happened in her life and really outreached and taken and packaged it in a way to help so many others.
Yes,
and the ambiguous loss thing is huge.
Yes, and so for those who don't know what ambiguous loss is basically when you have a partner who, or a loved one who has Alzheimer's disease or dementia, and it's basically when they're here but not here. So their body is physically here, but their memory and the person that you want to hold on to, the person that you remember, is gone. So it's basically, she has a myriad of books on and just advice on how to navigate that, because it's almost like mourning someone who is still here, and it's touching. And Duet also has a video discussion series based on loving someone who has dementia, and they have groups that meet all over the valley and basically go through her book and chapter by chapter talk about how to navigate that process and how to take care of your loved one, but also take care of yourself, because that's a rut a lot of caregivers fall into, is exhaustion and needing to know how to renew and replenish themselves so they can be the best person that they can be and the best family caregiver that they can be.
She's amazing. She
Yes,
really is.
definitely.
And we see families every day, and the person, like you said, is still here. They're a vessel of who they used to be. And as the adult children, are expecting them to remember and be that dad or mom or that uncle or aunt or grandmother, grandfather, they're really not. And it's hard. It really is. And she has some incredible tools and tips. I've got 3 people at Cypress HomeCare Solutions that have gone through her training that can teach that training about ambiguous loss.
That's awesome. And I believe Cypress HomeCare Solutions is one of our friend sponsors.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, and you guys will also be at, during the event, there's going to be there's going to be a resource fair. So people who come can go and find different, venues and people who serve family caregivers.
It is amazing. So I want to go down the list of people. So we talked about Dr. Terrio. Mm-hmm. We talked about Dr. Boss. Wayne Tormella.
Yes.
He was a guest here on my show.
Oh, that's awesome. You've interviewed everyone.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Wayne, he's a rock star,
yeah,
too.
He
He's
came
incredible.
and did a presentation at Duet a few months back, and it was just amazing. Some of the things you don't even think about until you hear a presentation on them.
And what's interesting about Wayne is when I had him here on the show, we were talking about the anti-tobacco commercials that they're running. Mm-hmm. And, at the time they were running the coach ads, because they had the coaches from ASU and U of A supporting the anti-tobacco initiative. And I don't know if you've seen some of the commercials recently, the anti-tobacco commercials.
Yes.
OMG. I mean, why would anyone smoke a cigarette after seeing these people? And I mean, I think the Department of Health Services, the Arizona Department of Health Services, should be winning Clio Awards for the way they portray these individuals that have, been smokers and then have had to overcome major health issues. And you got one guy that's got a scar down his chest. You got another one that had their jaw removed. I mean, and then the other one who can't talk that's got the
thing in the throat.
The thing in the throat. It's amazing. Look, we have to do a great job of getting to these kids to tell them that smoking is not good. So my hat's off to Wayne and his department. He's done a fantastic job. And Kathy Ritchie, what can I say about Kathy? Kathy is awesome. She is a reporter for WJZZ News 91.5, and she is somebody that is and has been a family caregiver to a loved one that had Alzheimer's. So
yep, and she covers a lot of caregiving issues here in the Valley, which is a topic that not a lot of people talk about.
Exactly. So you know what? We really teed up this show by talking about this family caregiver symposium. And the reason why I wanted just to talk about that right here from the get-go, and we'll talk a little more in the second segment about that, and we'll learn a little bit more about Duet. But, I mean, there are approximately 44 million caregivers that are providing unpaid care right now in the United States for family members. And by 2030, they're expecting that to possibly double. And that's in 12 years. So that number could be as high as 80 million people. And we need resources. And resources like this, the Family Caregiver Symposium, which is in its 3rd year, is coming up on Thursday, October 18th 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The location's of First Christian Church of Phoenix, and that is located at 6750 North 7th Avenue. We'll have more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're down one, Shelly. We got 3 more to go.
Okay.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you, and I've got Shelly Everson, and she is from Duet Partners in Health and Aging, and it is an incredible nonprofit institution here in our backyard in Phoenix, Arizona, that is serving so many people. And you know, we had the first segment and we wanted to talk about this Family Caregiver Symposium, and if you missed it, I want you to go up to our website at cypresshomecare.com, click on the media button. It's up on the top right. Drop down 3 buttons, and you'll get radio show, and you'll catch that first segment and about 200 others we've been bringing to you for the last 5 years. So I wanted to talk about, Shelly, that whole Family Caregiver Symposium. We're going to weave that into this entire radio show because we've got almost 44 million caregivers out there, family caregivers that are sacrificing their lives every single day, and they're doing it because it's a labor of love. Mm-hmm. And it's such a noble thing to do for a family member. But one of the things that they are lacking is resources.
Yes.
They're lacking tools. And, you know, we spent so much time talking about who these individuals are that are going to be speaking to help them get those tools. And really, the superstar in that lineup, and we talked about it, Dr. Pierre Theriault, Dr. Pauline Boss, Wayne Tormala, and Kathy Ritchie. The superstar is Pauline Boss. Dr. Boss will help them have those tools and walk away with a little something more to help them cope and deal with their loved ones that are afflicted by whatever illness they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Which is really, really awesome. So why not? I'll give a plug right now. Family Caregiver Symposium, Thursday, October 18th. 2018. That's easy to remember. October 18th, 10/18/2018.
Yes, and duetaz.com. Oh, sorry, duetaz.org is where people can go to purchase tickets online. It's $20 for family caregivers, $40 for professionals, and we offer continuing education credits for nurses, social workers, and those who live, who work in like long-term living and assisted living facilities. And so they just need to go to duetaz.org to find out more about that.
And I will say this, if you are a family caregiver and you are challenged with paying that $20, call my office at 602-264-8009. I will help you make sure you get into this event because this is an event you should not miss. We've had a privilege of supporting it over the last couple of years. We're supporting it again this year. Truly, this event will help you add tools to your tool belt and make you a better caregiver for the family member that you're helping. So call my office if $20 is going to cause you hardship. I will pay that for you, 602-264-8009. So, Shelly.
Yes.
What is Duet? Talk to me about Duet. I mean, I have the pleasure of being on the board of this fine institution. You gave out the web address. It's duetaz.org. But really, if you could describe what Duet is, I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. So Duet is a local nonprofit here in the Valley. We're about 40 years old, and we have 4 service areas. Our most popular and probably most well-known is that we provide transportation to homebound adults. So say you can't drive because of age or other health-related issues, we combine you with a volunteer who lives in your neighborhood, and you get transportation to the grocery store or doctor's office. We also help and provide resources for both family caregivers and grandparents raising grandchildren. And then we also train nurses here in the Valley and sometimes even from out of state who come here to be nurses in their own faith communities called parish nurses.
And I'm looking at the website, Duet, DUETAZ.org. Go to this interactive map.
Yes.
I think, Shelly, I think this thing is brilliant.
Yes, it's actually one of our favorite parts of our website. So basically, if you're thinking about volunteering with us, we make it as easy as possible. You basically just log onto our website, go to our volunteer page, which is just, you can link to right at the top, and our interactive map, we update it 3 times a day, and you basically just put in your address or your zip code, and you can find someone in your neighborhood, literally, that's why we call them neighbors, who is in need of transportation to the grocery store or to a doctor's appointment, or we also do like friendly visiting, friendly phoning. You can help people with paperwork. We have a variety of ways basically to help others just right in your own backyard. And we have volunteer orientations every month. We do them all across the valley so that we try to make it, like I said, as convenient as possible. And people can sign up for the volunteer orientations just right on our website.
Well, what's really cool is that they have these icons, this legend that says, what is it that these people are looking for? And
yes, and we have 60 people right now on our waiting list.
I was going to say it looked like 50, but
we have 60 people.
60 people. And it goes from grocery shopping to substitute shopping, friendly visiting, friendly phoning, paperwork assistance, respite assistance, and computer assistance, or a combination thereof. And it's interesting because all you have to do is take your cursor, go over the icon, and you'll be able to see who that person is. Now, obviously, they don't give the exact address, but they give the first name, they give the city, they give the zip code, they give an age range. They give you a lot of information.
Yeah, we try to make it, like I said, as easy as possible. And people don't realize how much of a difference an hour to a week, or sometimes even an hour to a month, can make to someone who, you're their only way that they get groceries. You're their only way that they can make it to the doctor. And it makes a big impact in someone's life.
Well, I want to share the statistic that I've shared often here on the show. About 1/3 of our population across the nation, 65 and older, lives home alone.
Oh, wow.
1/3. And social isolation is really one of the greatest challenges we have as a society. And social isolation is the equivalent. We talked about cigarettes with Wayne.
Yes.
All right. It's the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Oh, my goodness.
So we need to get these people out. We need to help and assist them. Duet has an incredible volunteer program. Just call Duet or go to this website. You have a phone number for Duet, right?
Yes, it's 602-274-5022.
And it's duetaz.org. And we got a little Bruce Springsteen taking us out.
Nice.
Nothing better than Friday and Bruce. So thank you, Wes, for a little Bruce. And you've been listening to Health Futures Taking Stock in You. I've got Shelly Everson here in the studio. She is with Duet Partners in Aging and Health. I always get that wrong, Health and Aging. But they are an incredible not-for-profit that needs your assistance. Needs your assistance with volunteers, needs your assistance with money, but more important, we are there for you if you're a family caregiver. Stick around, it's halftime. We'll be right back.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. And we're on our third segment here. If you're just tuning in, I got Shelly Everson here in the studio from Duet Partners in Health and Aging, and we have been talking about the Family Caregiver Symposium that's coming up on Thursday, October 18th, 2018, from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., and it's located at the First Christian Church of Phoenix, and that's at 6750 North 7th Avenue in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you're interested, go out to Duet's website, that's duetaz.org. or you can call them for additional information at 602-274-5022. If you missed the first two segments, go out to our website at cypresshomecare.com. And on the very, very top right of it, you'll see a media button. Click on that and hit the drop down. Or 3 buttons down, and you'll see the radio show, and you'll catch the entire program that you're listening here today and about 200 others. So, Shelly, Duet.
Yes.
An incredible organization that is really made up of volunteers. And in our second segment, I was talking about your website and this interactive map, and I was talking about, hey, you know what? This is something that we need people to get involved in.
Yes,
We've got
definitely.
about 60 people that are needing some assistance, anything from just friendly conversation to, computer assistance or shopping. I also ended the segment talking about social isolation, and it is really a problem. It's almost pandemic.
Yes, I do know because in my role, I write a lot of our materials, I do a lot of our press releases, which means I'm out in the community interviewing a lot of the people we serve. And time after time, one of the neighbors that we serve will mention how literally the highlight of their week is when their volunteer takes them to the grocery store or comes over and visits for an hour. And it literally makes their week and is something that's so important and so special to them. So it's a pretty big deal when, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you're still mobile and you still can drive your own car. You don't really think about it. But when you're older and that privilege, isn't something you're able to do anymore, it's a darn big deal for people.
It is. And, I think human nature is to help. And,
Yes.
my father had this great quote, and it was from Winston Churchill, and it is that you make a living by what you make a life by what you give. And, I think every human being has that gift inside of them. We just need to help them understand where they can give. And, you're running volunteer programs, training programs weekly, right? Or is it every other week?
We do volunteer orientations once a month.
Once a month, okay.
Yes, and we also, if for some reason someone's not able to be a transportation volunteer, which is where our biggest area of need is, but would still like to help, we also have people who help at events. We have people who help in the office. Basically, if you have just like almost any nonprofit here in the Valley, if you have a talent set and the desire to help, we will put you to work.
Awesome. Awesome. So, you know what? There's a lot of other things that Duet does.
Yes.
And, here we're highlighting the family caregiver because they are truly the unsung hero in our community.
Definitely.
And they are making differences in people's lives every day, the people that they love. But at the same time, one of the things that I always talk about is that they need some respite. They need
Yes.
they need relief. They need somebody to come in and help.
Yeah, and one nice thing about the symposium is if you're a family caregiver who is shy about leaving your loved one at home or you're not able to because of health reasons, we actually will have adult daycare available on site provided by Beatitudes at Home. You just have to give us a call first to make a reservation, but it's free of charge. They will be well cared for. They'll, be fed, entertained, and that way you can enjoy yourself and be able to attend the event.
So important. And as I talk about respite for this event, but also respite as
In
caregiver.
general, yeah.
The typical audience that is listening to our show today is somewhere between 35 and 64. And not to minimize the fact that we have people younger than 35 and we have people older than 64, but that's really the lion's share. So a lot of people that are listening here to our show today are those family caregivers.
Yes, definitely.
And they are the ones that are the 44 million that AARP talks about that are doing this work every single day. Now a lot of them don't even think of themselves or consider themselves as family caregivers.
Yes, actually, there's statistics that say about almost 90% of people don't actually self-identify as a family caregiver.
Right.
But when they do, that's when they're able to go out and seek resources and get the help that they need.
Exactly. I mean, they don't realize that's what they're doing.
It's a natural thing.
It is a natural thing. And it's a natural thing, as I said, to help your fellow brother and sister out.
Yes.
And that's what they're doing. So, take a little moment here, because in the fourth segment, we'll come back to talking more about the Family Caregiving Symposium or Caregiver Symposium. But take a moment and talk to our listening audience about all the other services that you guys are doing. The one that I love is grandparents raising grandchildren.
I was actually just about to start with that. So Duet offers resources for grandparents raising grandchildren. And grandparents can be raising their grandchildren for a variety of factors. Many, it's because of the opioid addictions. It's the children have, there's adult children have died, they're incarcerated, a variety of just gut-wrenching factors. But how Duet helps is we have support groups across the valley. We could provide respite assistance. So say your grandchild wants to be on the basketball team, but funds are tight. We can help with that. We also offer outings very regularly to the local pool. We have movies. We also have outings just for the grandparents so they can get away and, have a night to themselves and so forth. And so it's just almost like with family caregivers, it's something that, we've had grandparents who say, I didn't expect to spend my retirement changing diapers. And so it's something that can happen to anyone, and Duet is here to help with that. And then also we provide education and networking opportunities for parish nurses, which are nurses who have special training to help in their faith communities. And not only does that help the faith community itself, but it also helps community-wide as well. So
you have some numbers that you can share with us about approximately how many grandparents raising grandchildren that you know?
I do know in the state of Arizona itself that there's, I believe it's 100,000 children, or I believe it's 100,000 grand families, something like that. I don't
100,000 grand.
Yes,
families.
I know that. I remember I don't have exactly any numbers right in front of me. But yeah.
I put you on the spot, but I know the number's huge.
Yes, it's
and for somebody that is listening in today, I think they'll be shocked to hear that grandparents are raising grandchildren.
They are,
and they didn't intend to.
No.
Many of them are retired,
and they're on fixed incomes.
Fixed income. Some of them are still working, and unfortunately, something health related may have happened to their child. Maybe it was another issue that happened. Maybe they passed away, but here they are stuck raising a grandchild. And I say stuck. I mean, many of them just love the fact that they're there and they're able to do it, but
it's still hard.
To do it in your 50s, 60s, or 70s is a little bit different than doing it in your 20s and 30s.
Yes, definitely. And that's what we hear from a lot of the grandparents. Like, they want to raise their grandchildren. They're grateful for the opportunity. They don't want to see their grandchildren in the foster care system. But at the same time, they're tired and they're looking for resources, and they're on fixed incomes, and they thought they'd be retiring and traveling by now, or, so it's support groups so they know that they're not alone. And that's what I see throughout all of Duet's 4 service areas, is just to know you're not alone. I think is one of the biggest factors that we can let people know, is you're not alone, and we're here to help. And there's others here in the Valley who are here to help you as well.
Awesome. So tell me about some of the other programming.
Well, like we had mentioned, our family caregivers, we provide ongoing support groups. There's video discussion series. We also have from time to time different workshops for them as well. And just for all 4 service areas, it's based on education, help. And I think one thing Duet does really well is if you give us a call and for some reason we can't help you directly, we more than likely can refer you to someone who can. We have a lot of great resources that many people don't even know exist. And we have connections with different other nonprofits and organizations. So it's just a really good, give us a call. There's a chance we could either help you ourselves or connect you to someone who can.
And we've got open enrollment coming up.
Yes.
October 15th. So do you guys help in that, or you just direct people to the resources to help people with Medicare open enrollment?
I believe in that case we would direct them to other resources.
Okay.
But I do know that we have, all the senior helpline numbers you can think of.
Sure.
I sit in the office and I hear them rattled off all the time. So
right.
I know we know everybody.
and this is an appeal to the listening audience. If you or a loved one is about to turn 65 or is 65, or just remember, open enrollment is a window that's only open for about 2 months.
It's about 7-8 weeks, right?
Yeah, so it's October 15th to December 15th. You can select, your plan, and if you need some assistance, there are so many areas you can go. You certainly can call the folks over at Duet, and you can give that number out again. It's 602, or I'll give it out, 274-5022, or call Area Agency on Aging.
Yeah, they'd probably be a really good go-to. The Area Agency on Aging, I know, would have that. Or I believe there's a senior helpline as well.
You bet. So as we wrap up this third segment, is this the first time you're doing radio?
I've done it a little bit here and there, but I was also a DJ in college. So
did you have a handle?
Yes.
What was your handle?
I I actually don't remember. I know our show was the Faux Shizzle Dizzle show because it was a hip hop show.
It was what?
The Faux Shizzle Dizzle show. It was a hip hop show, and I'm still into hip hop. But now I have an 8-year-old, so I have to, bleep out a few of the words.
That's all right. That's all right. So you seem very comfortable behind the mic. So
thank you.
So I figured that you may have had some experience, but I didn't know you were a hip hop DJ.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, listen. We got a little bit more Bruce taking us out, so this must be Bruce Springsteen Friday, thanks to Wes Franco, our engineer. He's an extraordinary talent. Not only does he engineer and produce our show, but he also takes photos and videos for us. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You, and if you want to see some of our previous shows and listen to them, you can go up to our website at cypresshomecare.com, click on the media button, hit the drop down to radio show, and you can catch, obviously, this show, but a whole lot more that we've been bringing to you for the last 5 years. So we got one segment left, Shelly, and I really want to capture more about and talk more about the Family Caregiver Symposium and what our listening audience can maybe learn if they choose to go to it.
Awesome.
We're down 3, one more to go.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. And we're on our 4th segment if you're just tuning in. And I've got Shelly Everson here in the studio. She is with Duet Partners in Health and Aging. She is their PR coordinator. She's the one that makes the magic happen. She gets the word out there. And
do my best.
We are getting, there you go. We got a little more cowbells happening.
I need that every time I enter the office, if you don't mind following me around. That'd
the
be
cowbell?
Great. Yes.
And working for the weekend. I mean, it is weekend time.
Almost. I'm excited.
Are you going home after this?
Yes.
There you go. Fantastic. I mean, cutting out early on Friday, why not?
You can't beat that.
And how about that rain we had this week? Tuesday was an amazing thing.
Yes, beautiful rainbows while I was driving home from work. It was awesome.
And, in all the years I've lived here, I mean, first of all, we've never had a tropical storm. Rosa came.
Yes, which is actually one of my cousin's names, so I was really excited about that.
And Rosa delivered. I'll tell you what, we may not have fixed the drought, but we certainly put a little bit of a dent in it.
Yes.
And for us in Phoenix, Arizona, we're not unaccustomed to seeing that. So really talking about Duet and the wonderful organization that you guys have, and I have the honor of being on your board of directors. We need you, and I mean it. We need you in a big way, our listening audience or someone you might know, to help volunteer. As Shelly shared with us, they do volunteer training once a month, and we've got 60 people on this map that are needing some assistance,
Yes.
and they need you or someone you know. So, please reach out to Duet. You can either get them through their website at duet, duetaz.org, or you can call them at
602-274-5022.
Perfect. And then the other thing is, if on that website, we need your funds too.
Yes, actually, our 3 favorite mottos are donate, volunteer, ask for help. So especially we are a charitable contribution qualifying organization, so feel free to donate to us.
For tax deduction.
Yes, we will take all your money if you would like.
And the donate button is real easy. It's right.
Yes, it is.
Right on the very top right.
And in December, we actually have our December 2nd. We have our Poinsettia Tea as well. So for anyone who's interested in attending that will be in Scottsdale, and that information is also on our website. So
at the Hyakini Ranch, you guys have been doing a number of different years.
This will be our 28th year, I believe.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a very fun holiday tradition.
So let's circle back to really
Okay.
talking about the unsung hero being family caregivers.
Definitely. And on our website, you'll find that our Family Caregiver Symposium is Thursday, October 18th. One of our big sponsors is AARP Phoenix, and it just has a lot of great speakers talking about finding hope on your caregiving journey.
Cypress Home Care is one of your sponsors.
Yes,
too.
you are. And you are involved in our Caregiver Resource Fair, where people can sometime during the symposium go out and find out lots of information and resources, which I have found through talking to people that resources and knowing where to go is 90% of the battle.
And, also, we talked about in the first segment, the lineup, and it really is the people that are speaking. And, I'll just go through it again because I know all four of these folks. Dr. Pierre Theriault, he is the director of the Banner Alzheimer's Institute and research professor of psychiatry for the University of Arizona College of Medicine. And he is, as I've said, all of them are rock stars, but he's amazing. He's been here on my show. The other one's Dr. Pauline Boss. She's a family therapist, pioneer, theorist of ambiguous loss, and the author of Loving Someone Who Has Dementia. She has been there throughout every one of these family caregiver symposiums. So you've had 3. She's been for each one.
Yes.
And I will tell you, she comes in high demand, and it's not easy to get her.
No, it's not. And we had to book her for months in advance, and she's always been a big supporter.
And Duet is able to get her every year.
Yes.
And then the third rock star is speaker Wayne Tormala, and he is the chief of the Arizona Department of Health Services, Bureau of Tobacco and Chronic Disease. He's been a guest here on the show, and again, I love Wayne, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say. And then last, our moderator is Kathy Ritchie, who is and was a family caregiver and is really driven to this mission, and everything she does is centered around dementia and Alzheimer's. So really a great lineup.
Yes.
It's going to be a great day. It is at the First Christian Church of Phoenix. I know that we usually do it at the Church of Beatitudes, but they're going under construction.
Yes.
And it'll be really hard to do that under construction. So I'm so glad that the First Christian Church of Phoenix is available. It's at 6750 North 7th Avenue. And you can go to the website at duetaz.org or call 602-274-5022. It's $20 for family caregivers, $40 for professionals. And if you are somebody that is a family caregiver and you're going to struggle with really coming up with that $20, call my office at 602-264-8009. I would be happy to do this for you because you cannot miss this as a family caregiver. And then lastly, you have free on-site daycare for those that are, those family caregivers that can't leave their loved ones.
Yes.
Well, going out with a little bit of the Doors. And
I like it.
And I love the Doors, too. And
a little bit of relaxing weekend vibe. I like it.
Exactly. Now, Shelly, did you ever think that it was going to go this fast?
I did not. It went much faster than expected.
And I'm going to give you just 10 seconds to give a final plug. Anything you want to talk about? You want to talk about the weather? You want to talk about the weekend? You want to talk about the cowbell? You tell me.
I would like to say hi to my son, Nicholas, who I'll play this for. So he's 8 years old and loves cats and thinks his mom is way more famous than she actually is.
Well, you know what, Nicholas, your mom is really famous.
Oh, thank you.
And she's one of the rock stars as well and helps Duet AZ really, really look good. Well, you've been listening to Health Futures Taking Stock in You, and I appreciate you listening in today. I will tell you that next week, tune in. I have Shannon Dunn in the studio, and she is going to be talking about the Arizona Fall Prevention Conference that is coming up. So tune in to Health Futures Taking Stock in You, Friday at 12 o'clock. Make it a great day. Have a great weekend. Shelly Everson, thank you for being here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
There's no place like home. You've been listening to Bob Roth's Health Futures. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call Cypress Home Care Solutions at 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Or visit CypressHomeCare.com. Be sure to join Health Futures with Bob Roth every Friday at noon, right here on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM.